Retrofitting a non-Warwick or Sadowsky base with a Just-A-Nut 3 system is easily done. Now you can take advantage of the flexibility of the Just-A-Nut system on any base with the required nut width. First, measure the width of your neck at the nut to determine which replacement size you will need, and gather the following tools: instant adhesive, a sharp blade, a pencil, a file as wide as your Just-A-Nut, sandpaper, measuring device, tape, chisels, and your new Just-A-Nut 3. If your neck and headstock are lacquered, outline your original nut with a sharp knife to avoid damaging the finish or the wood. Carefully remove the old nut with pliers. The nut may require force to knock it out of its original home. Once removed, tape off the edges of the nut recess. Check to see if the bottom of the recess is level or if it has a radius like the fretboard. If it does have a radius, use a pencil to lightly mark the bottom of the recess. File down the recess until the radius has been removed and you can no longer see pencil markings. Do not overfile. Place the top piece of your Just-A-Nut 3 down into the recess to see if it will fit properly. If needed, use your file to widen the recess at the headstock end. The top of the Just-A-Nut should fit tightly against both sides of the recess once wide enough. Once the recess is correctly sized, place the bottom piece in the middle of the recess and mark the outlines with a pencil. Use a sharp blade to scratch along the inner edges on both sides of the recess between the pencil marks. Now carve out the area between the marks using a chisel. While this is delicate work, this again may require some force to remove the wood. Be careful when carving down. It is okay to cut a bit into the truss rod shaft, but do not damage the truss rod itself. Once the nut slot has been carved to the required depth, fit in the bottom part of the Just-A-Nut 3. Apply instant adhesive to the bottom and place it within the recess delicately with tweezers or chisels. Then, add the top and push down tightly to ensure the bottom has correctly seated itself in the slow. Use a catalyst spray or wait until the nut is dry, and then remove the top to check the bottom seating one final time. Reassemble the Just-A-Nut and check that the string valleys are level with the frets. If the Just-A-Nut is still too tall when the top and bottom are flush together, use sandpaper to file down the bottom section of the top piece. Repeat this process until you have reached your required height. Do not sand more than 1 mm off the Just-A-Nut. If the Just-A-Nut should stick out over the side edges of the neck, you can simply file it down until it aligns seamlessly with the neck. Now the Just-A-Nut is ready for setup.